Hello everyone and welcome back to Nagash, a channel dedicated to Sigmar, and in this video we're going to be returning back to the Maggotkin of Nurgle and looking at their Law of Nurgle, which is their spell lore. So we're going to read through how it works first. So all wizards in your Nurgle army know the Foul Regenesis spell, which we've looked at a previous video, but we'll go over it again now. So Foul Regenesis has a casting value of 7. If you successfully cast, pick the result from the stage corruption table that we looked at a previous video, you know, the cycle corruption, and you can pick that result and you immediately reset the cycle to that result. So yeah, fantastic. We've already talked about this quite a bit in depth. Just makes that wheel much more reliable. That makes it so much impactful on not just your army but the enemy's army as well. So each wizard in a Nurgle army also knows one spell from one of the laws of Nurgle. Depending on whether the wizard is a Rotbringer, demon or mortal, you must select the spell from the law of malevolence, law of vigilance or law of foulness table respectively. If they qualify for more than one table, pick which one to use. You can either pick the spell or roll a d3 to randomly determine it. So if you want to play really fun and narrative, you can roll that d3 to find out which one you want, but pretty much everyone else is going to be just picking it, so I'll just pick it if I was you. Okay, so we're going to look at the law of malignance, I think it's pronounced. And this is for any Rotbringer wizards can know one of the following spells. So the first one is a Blades of Putrefaction. So Blades of Putrefaction is cast from a 7. If successfully cast, pick a friendly unit within 14 inches of the caster that is visible to them. Until your next hero phase, hit rolls of a 6+ for that unit inflict 1 mortal wound in addition to any other damage. Okay, I prefer unmodified 6s. Firstly, as I've already mentioned before, unmodified 6s are better than 6+. However, 6+ is still good. You're still going to be getting a lot of those 6s because there's ways obviously for you to get +1 to hit, etc. And yeah, that's really good, especially if you do it on a big unit of, I don't know, Plague Bearers. They're chucking out a lot of attacks, Blight Kings, something like that. You've also got, obviously, if you want to take Marauders, that can do bucket loads of attacks. You know, the world is really your sort of oyster for it, because it just says pick a friendly unit within 14 inches of the caster. So that also means that it doesn't have to be Nurgle. Could be an ally, could be something along those lines. Could be for Plague Monks, I'm sure people use it for. Could do horrendous things with those. So yeah, that is a good general spell. Cost of 7 is a bit hard to cast. However, good as well because the range is 14 inches and that's just within, not wholly within, so that's quite a big range you've got there. So yeah, that is good. Okay, so the next one you've got is Rancid Festations. So Rancid Festations has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick an enemy unit within 3 inches of the caster. That unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each model from the unit that is within 3 inches of the caster. Okay, that can be huge if your guy's on, like, I don't know, quite a big base and he's surrounded by a lot of enemies. Obviously, in that perfect situation designed for this spell, he could do a lot of mortal wounds to the enemy, but he has to be up and close. And I would, if you got loads of wizards, then yeah, maybe take this, but it's not the first on the list so far. The Blades of Putrefaction is better. Okay, the next one we've got is the Gift of Contagion, which is number 3. As each law only has 3 spells to choose from, so going into Gift of Contagion, it has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, select an enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster, and that is visible to them, and then roll a dice and look up the result on the table below. Apply the penalty to all models in the unit until the start of your next hero phase. So on the d6 that you roll, on a 1 to 2, subtract 1 from the unit's hit rolls in the combat phase. That is big, especially how we can look at other ways to make the enemy minuses to hit. Can make a big impact. Now that's on a 1 or 2. So 3 or 4, subtract 1 from the unit's wounds rolls in the combat phase. So bear in mind that there's command traits and artifacts you can take to make the enemy have to re-roll 6s to hit. Now you can make the -1 to wound as well, which just really does stack up against them. And then 5 to 6, which is liquefying a cure, so subtract 1 from the unit's save rolls. Okay, so that's big, because then that's just giving you just -1 rend to anything that attacks it, essentially. Yeah, that good spells. Casting value 6, so good casting value as well. The other good thing about 18-inch range, and that's within, because there's not really a lot of things in this book that are wholly within. That's absolutely massive, huge range there. Yeah, I would say Gift of Contagion. Definitely, out of all the Rotbringer, spells from their Law of Malignance, I would say Gift of Contagion is my favourite. Just because all of those results you could get from it are good. There's not one there that's like a bit alright. Like I thought like 1 to 2 would be pretty crap, 3 to 4 would be alright, and there's 5 to 6 would be really good. They're all pretty good. So yeah, I do like that. That is closely followed behind though by Blades of Purification. Definitely, just because that you can do a lot of mortal wounds to the enemy. However, that just casts on a 7, so it's just that bit harder to cast. Okay, so going on to the Law of Vigilance. So this is for any Nurgle Demon Wizard can know one of the following spells. So Favoured Poxes. So Favoured Poxes casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick an enemy unit within 14 inches of the caster. That is visible to them. Subtract 1 from hit, wound and save rolls for that unit until the caster moves, attempts to cast a spell, or is slain. So essentially, you cast a spell, then you can't really do anything to your next hero phase, where presumably he casts it again. Which is good, because if he does that spell, Favoured Poxes, is like Gifts of Contagion, which we just looked at for the Rotbringers at number 3. However, instead of just doing one of the effects, it does all 3 of them. And the only thing that you have to do with this is you have to pick an enemy unit within 14 inches, so 4 inches shorter than Gift of Contagion. Also has a casting value of 7, so you need to roll that extra 1 to cast. And also you can't move, essentially. And if you're slain, it will also be taken away, or if you try and cast another spell. So for example, if you can cast 2 spells and you cast Favoured Poxes on an enemy unit, and then you immediately go, oh, I was going to cast Mystic Shield on myself as well, I'll cast that. Then you've just cancelled the other spell. So you have to remember, if you're using Favoured Poxes, do write down the order you've got to do it. It's going to be the last spell that wizard casts. Otherwise, you're just going to need to, and it's going to be really sort of annoying. And especially, if you're playing amongst friends and all that sort of thing, your opponent might go, oh, you didn't know. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll let you off. But you're at a tournament, your opponent might let you off at the same time. That's quite a big thing. So you do want to stay on top of that. Okay, so the next one we've got is Glorious Afflictions. So Glorious Afflictions, casting value of 5. You successfully cast, pick an enemy unit within 21 inches of the caster, so a huge range, and that is visible to them. The unit's movement characteristic and any run or charge rolls made for them are halved, rounding up, until your next hero phase. In addition, units that can normally fly cannot do so until your next hero phase. I think this is amazing. Casting value of 5. That's absolutely massive. Can really, really devastate armies. Look at armies like, I don't know, Dispossessed. Okay, now the movement 2. Huge. It's rounded up, so obviously if you were going for something like Liberators as an example, movement 5, half that is 2.5, rounding up it's going to be movement 3. So that's important because some of them are rounding down, but this is rounding up. Not a huge, much of a problem, but if you look at an army, like I said, that was a slow army. If you look at an army which is fast, like my Flare army as an example, which normally moves like 12 inches without like modifiers, for the movement characteristic, now you're making them move 6, and now they can't fly. Now you might think, well, that's just one unit in the Flesh Eater Court army, but for me, how I run my Flesh Eater Courts is I tend to run 2 small units of flares and then 1 big man unit of 12 flares, which we've already talked about before why I do that, so it stays alive and basically never dies. Now the enemy can just go, right, that unit there, it's movement 6 and it can't fly. That would absolutely devastate me and really make it hard for me to try and win the game at that sort of rate, because that's my massive killer unit. Now can't really do anything, can't really get where it needs to, be bogged down really easily, massively devastate me. And it's the same with the enemy's got a big unit of eels, do a huge thing for them as well. Okay, and then number 3 we've got Sumptuous Pestilence, which we already looked at before, and it has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, each enemy unit within 7 inches of the caster suffers 1 mortal wound. Units with more than 5 models suffer D3 mortal wounds instead. Yeah, I've looked at this before. Yeah, that's good, because it's quite easy to do the D3 mortal wounds, particularly on what sort of units you're fighting. But my favourite out of all 3 of these, that's going to be my least favourite, if I'm honest. My favourite out of all 3 of these is going to be Glorious Afflictions. I think that's really, really good. Casting 5 as well, so you're going to be getting it pretty much all the time. You'd be, unlucky a few times, but that's much more reliable to cast. Range 21 inches is absolutely huge, not even wholly within, just within. And then we've got Favoured Poxes afterwards, which is a good spell as well. Okay, and then looking at the last law, and this is the law of foulness. So any Nurgle mortal wizards can know one of the following spells. So the first one is Magnificent Pupils. So Magnificent Pupils has a casting value of 7. It successfully casts, pick an enemy hero within 20 inches of the caster that is visible to them. That hero suffers D3 mortal wounds. 2 additions, subtract 1 from the hit rolls, casting rolls, and unbinding rolls until your next hero phase. Cool, so like an arcane bolt, but with a twist on it, giving those subtracts to the casting, unbinding, and hit. So yeah, that's pretty cool, especially if you manage to get it off against an Nagash or an Archaeon. It's going to be quite impactful. It's not huge, like I'll just say that. It's nice. The only reason why I say it's pretty cool is because usually when you look at the mortal spells and stuff for these god books, basically Games Workshop's like, yeah, we don't really want you to play Slates of Darkness, so we're going to make them crap. So if they're all right, then yeah, they're worth noting down. You know, it's okay. Okay, so number 2 is Plague Squall. So has a casting value of 6. Successfully cast. Roll 7 dice for each roll of a 6. You can pick an enemy unit that is visible to the caster. If you roll more than 1 6, you must pick a different enemy unit to suffer each set of mortal wounds. Okay, that's big because there's not even a range on that. Like I said with the one previously, like the Glorious Fictions for the Law of Vigilance, range of 21, absolutely massive. And then this infinite range, just be able to see it, especially if this guy is on a Manticore or something, so it's a bit higher, they take D3 mortal wounds. That's a very nice spell. However, if we're looking at it being on a Manticore, the Manticore spell is very good anyway, and if I was to take in the Chaos Sorcerer Lord from Slates of Darkness on the Manticore, I'd be going for his unique spell, which is Winds of Chaos, which is really sort of most of the time not going to do anything, but if it does, it'd be amazing. However, this on one of the Maggot Lords or something like that, so on a big mortal ROTBRINGER monster, so pretty high base. You want something elevated essentially to be able to see anything on the battlefield. That is good. That is a nice spell. I do like that. I mean, you do need to roll a 6, so you might roll 7 dice and not get any 6s. You should get 1, but you might not get any and it might be a waste, but you know, that's the same every time. Okay, so going into number 3, we have a Cloyne Quagmire. I think they are just literally trying to make these words difficult for me to be able to pronounce. I mean, I'm severely dyslexic. I feel like this is really, really targeting at me, to be honest, because this is just making me sound like an idiot. Anyway, going into, it has casting value of 5. It successfully casts, select an enemy unit within 14 inches of the caster that is visible to them, and then roll a dice and compare it to the enemy unit's save characteristic. If the roll is equal to or higher than the save characteristic, the unit suffers a D6 mortal wounds. Okay, so that is pretty good. I mean, especially like we're saying, we're comparing it for the mortals, aren't we? Like I said, we don't always have the best spells, and to be fair, because you roll that dice and you compare it to the enemy's save characteristic, if the roll was equal to or higher, it's going to suffer those D6 mortal wounds. So essentially this is good against elite things. Against hordes, it's not really going to do anything at all. Against, I don't know, zombies without save, then this doesn't do anything, I guess. But against an army that I really am happy will struggle against this spell is Stormcast, because they've got lovely saves of like 2 ups, 3 rolling 1, so an absolute pain to deal with. Now they have to deal with this, and because of that, this is going to be my favourite spell for the mortals. It's probably not the best one out of the 3. To be honest, it's not. The last one was better, but this one is very good against Stormcast, and that is why it is my favourite. And that ends the video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe and comment down below, as that massively helps the channel and reader support, and it's absolutely free for you guys to do so. If you'd like to support the channel a step further, I have now set up a Patreon account, which is a way for me to get a great source of income towards the channel to help me buy battle tomes such as the Maggotkin of Nurgle, so I can review it for you guys on the channel. Save it towards things like getting a better microphone, getting a camera so I can start doing battle reports, and also really helps towards the time I put into the channel. Massively does help towards that. And on that note, I would like to thank Martin, Simon and Carl and Max for their great and continued support towards the channel, and everyone out there, if you do enjoy the content, then please say a thank you to these guys, as they really do help me be able to create it. And if you can't support me on Patreon, that's absolutely fine. I'm just really glad you came and checked out this video. So guys, as always, if you've got a army that I am reviewing and you'd like to send me some photos, please do. I know some of you already have, and I'll be attaching those photos to the videos I'm going to do when I review the army, opposed to just talking about allegiance abilities, you know, because when I can go a grey unclean one on the screen when I'm talking about a grey unclean one, it just makes more sense, doesn't it? So yeah, guys, feel free to send me those photos on my email address I got on the last community post. Also, if you've got a Maggotkin of Nurgle army and you've got thoughts on them and you think there's some things I've said that you disagreed with, or there's anything that you do agree with, please put that down in the comments as well, because like I say, we can all learn from it. It'd be absolutely fantastic. So guys, I thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, until next time, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.